Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a job Joe Shane did in his second draft as GM of the New York Giants. The first one was great, but now we have less picks, 7 picks after the end of all these trades that happened, and I am very, very impressed, and I can't wait to go over every single rookie with you guys. Let's go. Alright, so before we start this video, as always, guys, if you guys are enjoying the content, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, when we talk about these picks, guys, I'm going to give you guys the good and the bad. I'm not going to sit here and just give you guys the land of milk and cookies sort of opinions on every single draft prospect. I'm going to give you guys all of my likes and dislikes about these prospects. So let's get into it. So in the first round, as we saw a bunch of wide receivers coming off the board, back to back, all 4 of them that were projected in the first round went right before the Giants did, all consecutively. And the Giants and Joe Shane made sure that they do not miss out on their cornerback prospect. Joe Shane said that he was running out of first round grades on guys. He made sure he got his guy, Deonte Banks. He jumped up to 24. He gave up pick 160 in the 5th round and pick 240 in the 7th round to acquire the 24th pick, jump up 1 spot with Jacksonville, and get cornerback Deonte Banks out of Maryland. Now he's 6 foot 197, and listen, I think he is the next cornerback for the New York Giants. I think eventually, if Dory Jackson were to leave, he would fit in as cornerback number 1. Now, not immediately. He isn't some like Christian Gonzalez, Devin Witherspoon in this draft, but he is cornerback 3 to me. And he's a press man corner, perfect for Wink Martindale's scheme. And you can see Wink Martindale was extremely excited when Deonte Banks was taken. Now, I mentioned that Deonte Banks is a press man corner, and he could also play zone. You see that he establishes good instincts in zone, so he can play both of those schemes. Wink Martindale loves to run press man, but there are some moments, especially in the bulk of the middle of the season, where we ran a lot of zone coverage. One thing I really like about Deonte Banks is how good he is off the snap. Now, one negative I do have of him is he doesn't get a good punch. He doesn't get a good jam off the line of scrimmage when the ball is snapped. That's something he could definitely work on. Maybe Maryland doesn't want him doing that. I don't know. But I don't know what the situation was, but he needs to get better at punching and jamming at the line of scrimmage, because sometimes he lets guys go off in breaking routes like quick slants. They just get right past them. But I do like his technique and his positioning in short and intermediate routes. When it comes to those curl routes, when it comes to a quick stop and a drag in, he always positions himself very, very well, even if he gets beat, which is something that does happen off the release. He gets beat off release. He kind of gets a little panicky, but then he has great makeup ability and positions himself right under the route to make sure if the ball is thrown that he can have a chance in defending it. And that's something I really like about Deonte Banks. A big plus for him is positioning, just knowing where to be when you're covering a receiver. Another good thing I like is route squeeze, a term that was coined by that franchise guy who I watch a lot of content from him, and he coined the term route squeeze, and it's a perfect term when talking about the space between a cornerback and wide receiver off breaks. So how fast can that cornerback just cut off that space? Emmanuel Forbes is elite at that. Guys like Kelly Ringo suck at that. Deonte Banks is right in that middle to me. He's not elite at it, but he's very, very good at it. But there are some times where guys can get away from him on quick stops, quick dig routes, and things like that. But like I said, he does have good makeup ability, and he uses his athleticism to make up for the bad reaction to the route. Now, the biggest problem I have with Deonte Banks is downfield. Now, he ran of like a 4.35 40 or something like that. Extremely fast guy. But there's something about when receivers go deep, whether it be like on 9 routes or post downfield, like long skinny post downfield, wide receivers just seem to separate from him. It just doesn't seem like he has great technique going downfield. He gets a little his body gets a little loose and it doesn't stay focused I don't know what it really is. I don't know if it's a confidence issue. I don't know if it's a technique issue. I don't know if he's just being nervous and getting outplayed downfield. I don't know what it is, but there's something about when guys go downfield, he's just not able to stick to those guys very well. He has the speed and athletic ability to do it. I just don't know why it isn't as good on tape. But to me, Deonte Banks is definitely worth the trade, definitely worth the pickup, and would be perfect in Wink Martindale's scheme. And I think they're going to make him an alpha type cornerback. He has that potential. He has that alpha in him. We just got to bring it out of him, especially downfield. I'll give it an A. Next, with our 57th overall pick in the second round, the New York Giants select John Michael Schmitz, the center out of Minnesota. And man, what a surprise that John Michael Schmitz lasted that long and the Giants did not need to trade up. Now, I thought the Giants were going to trade up in the second round because after the trade with Deonte Banks, Joe Schoen did say that just because they traded for Deonte Banks does not mean they are not going to trade later on in the draft. And with John Michael Schmitz still there and a bunch of picks until our selection, I thought it was for sure we were going to trade for John Michael Schmitz. And then we saw the Jets at, I believe, 43 take Joe Tippmann, the center out of Wisconsin, and he's a good center. Don't get me wrong. I feel like John Michael Schmitz is the better one, but thank God the Jets took him, and we end up with John Michael Schmitz at 57, not needing to move. So to me, this is an A-plus pick because we addressed a huge need. He was potentially best player available for us, and we didn't have to trade up for John Michael Schmitz. He's a guy that a lot of people wanted at 25, which wouldn't have been good value, but he still would have been a great player either way. Now, Schmitz is 6'3", 301 pounds, and his biggest strength to me is the run game and how smart he is. He has very, very good IQ. Every single scouting report I'm seeing from him is recognizing how smart he is when calling protection. I don't know if that's something that usually players don't do at college football. I know a lot of centers call the protections at the line in the NFL, but in college, it seems to be a big note from John Michael Schmitz that he calls the protections at the line during the snap. So that's something. He calls all the plays. That's good. His best trait is handling the bull rush. He has good feet. They're not fast, but they're very strong. He sets a very good anchor, so guys aren't able to bull rush him as much. Now, there's a little bit of inconsistency to JMS's game, especially when it comes to the run blocking. Although that's his best area of expertise is the run blocking, there are inconsistencies in there where he will allow guys to leak right through him. He does have a problem. He has strong arms, but not strong hands. I don't know if that's if you guys really understand what I'm saying there. He has strong arms. He can extend. He can push people back. But when it comes to the hands and gripping and latching on to a defender, he has a hard time doing that. Maybe it's because he has shorter arms. He doesn't have as much reach. He is not the most athletic center. Not that I really need a center to be that, but he doesn't have a lot of, I guess, movement side to side, where if a guy were to kind of rip him to the side and try to leak through one of his one of the holes back to the side of him, he will allow them through. He will get through because he's just not able to turn as fast as a lot of these defenders go by. But there are times where he makes guys pay. If you just try to move right past John Michael Schmitz without any technique, without any arm moves or rip moves or anything like that, he will make you pay. He has shown that he can pancake some guys that try to get past him, and that's something I like from him, and that's something that gives me confidence that he's gonna be okay. If I consistently saw a lack of athleticism and a lack of defending both sides of each gap, then I would have a problem. But he does make a lot of guys pay, especially in the run game. He can mistime those blocks when he gets to the second level and those guys go right past him. So that's a little bit of an issue. But like I said, all these things can be coached up. There's nothing that I see from JMS that I'm just like, listen, it's not going to work. I think he's going to be a fine center. He's very, very smart. That's not a lot of things. Being extremely smart or being naturally gifted to keep information in your mind and just know football is something that a lot of players fail in the NFL for doing. for not being able to grasp onto the game. I think he's going to be just fine in that. I got to give this grade an A+, especially for the value. All right, so the Giants did trade up in this draft, and they did so in the 3rd round. They went from 89th to 73rd, and I believe they gave up their 4th round pick, 128th overall, to do that. This one I was a little disappointed in because I was looking forward to that 4th round selection. I was really hoping for possibly, well, if we didn't get a wide receiver here, there was good wide receivers in the 4th round as well. Maybe another interior lineman. I was looking at maybe a safety as well, but it all worked out. I'm okay with it because the Giants acquired Jalin Hyatt. They jumped right in front of the Cleveland Browns. This was a 300 IQ type move. It looked like Cleveland really wanted Jalin Hyatt because they selected Cedric Tillman right after Jalin Hyatt. So you get the next best thing to Jalin Hyatt, and that was Tillman. And so the Giants jump right ahead of them. They select Jalin Hyatt, who is a burner, and he's one of the fastest, most electric players last year in college football. And I know he didn't test well at the combine. I know he had a couple of drops. I know he didn't run a fast 40 time, but this guy is just a player, all right? He's not a tester. He's a player, and there are guys like that in the NFL, guys that don't test well in the combine, but they play phenomenally in the league. Now, there are a lot of issues with Jalin Hyatt, and this is purely a projection pick. I have to give this grade an A+, just because of I'm not even the biggest Hyatt fan. Everybody knows that. I'm not the biggest Jalin Hyatt guy, but just because of the smarts and the wits that Joe Schoen had to know that Hyatt was going to go off the board some point between that pick and theirs, and especially the Cleveland Browns, they jumped ahead of them and they made sure they got the guy. And listen, it was great value. Hyatt's another guy that was being projected as the Giants' first pick at 25. 3 picks the Giants got that were projected at 25, which is phenomenal. And everybody knows Jalin Hyatt for his speed, but one thing that really irks me and is a big worry about him is his route running ability. Can he fit into an actual NFL offense? You guys know Brian Daboll, and something that separates himself from guys like Jason Garrett is route combinations, route concepts, the ability to have wide receivers work off of each other, mesh concepts, drive concepts, all types of in-breaking routes that work together, rub routes. All of those things are in Brian Daboll's offense, and that's not part of Jalin Hyatt's game. Jalin Hyatt is a burner on the outside or the slot. He'll run the seam route. He'll run an out and up, one of those, speed outs and ups. He runs those things like that. Comeback routes. He probably would have been great for a Jason Garrett offense, to be honest with you. But it's because Jalin Hyatt does not fit last year's offense that Brian Daboll ran. It's because of that really gets me excited, because there will be no way that we run our same scheme if we wanted Jalin Hyatt. That means we're going to switch things up. We're going to air the ball deep. We are going to change the offense how we saw it last year. We're still going to have the same stuff we had last year, but we're going to implement a lot more. Obviously, we have a lot of speed at every position on offense, including tight end, and I'm just excited for what we're going to see, and Jalin Hyatt is going to be a big part of that. Now, something that excites me about Jalin Hyatt is not just because he's a burner, not just because he can stretch the field, but you have to think about it in another sense. Even if Jalin Hyatt is not getting the ball, he is going to be used as the guy to just clear out the safety. He's going to be the guy to help open up room for these other receivers like Paris Campbell, like Wan'Dale when he gets back and healthy, Darius Slayton, who work the middle of the fields a lot, and Jalin Hyatt is going to be able to take 1 or even 2 safeties with him all the way down the field, and it's going to open up a lot, and it's going to force those linebackers to cover more in space. And I don't think you're going to be covering guys like Paris Campbell, Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson, or Darius Slayton with all that speed they have there. Those linebackers that we face against are going to have a hard time guarding all those receivers. And in day 3, we all had to wait until the end of the 5th round. It was excruciating seeing all these talented guys come off the board, and the Giants made their 5th round selection, 172nd overall, and that was Eric Gray, running back out of Oklahoma. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I did not know who he was when we drafted him. I've heard of his name. That's all I knew. I knew of an Eric Gray, but I never watched him at all. And when I did watch him before I made the video, I got a a quarter of a game from Eric Gray, and I watched like one 3-minute highlight film of him just to get a good idea so I can make a video for you guys off of quick reaction. And I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't like what I saw in the beginning, but I watched 3 full games from Eric Gray, and I am very impressed by what his role is. He's not a feature back by any means. He has a role on a football offense, and that is being a short yardage back, a guy that's going to make the first guy miss every single time and pick up some needed yardage when he is needed. Eric Gray's nickname from now on is Cutback King. I can give you guys probably a 15-minute highlight of all the cutbacks this guy makes, especially as soon as he touches the ball, when he sees a hole. This guy has great vision. He has great anticipation. He has patient feet. He's able to stutter and wait for a hole to open up and just hit it. This guy is great. Great in between 5 yards. I mean, just phenomenal. He does not have breakaway speed, and that's one thing that popped out to me immediately. His feet are a little slow when it comes to like turning the corner, but he has strong feet, so he's able to cut back very nicely, but they are patient. So I have no problem with his footwork at all. It's just not, like, I guess it's not my style of running back. You guys know I pay attention to running backs, okay? I love the running back position. I know this position, okay? But he's great with the cutbacks, great with picking up short yardage. Now, Oklahoma did not even run the best system for him. Although he was very successful in it, they didn't maximize his strengths. They ran a lot of pulling, guards and tackles to the outside, a lot of wide zone plays, and that's just not his strong suit. Although he can run it, his best scheme is inside zone, one cut reads, and just hitting the hole, and that is exactly what we do in our offense. Sure, we run a lot of powers to the outside, a lot of some wide zone plays, but we're mostly an inside zone running team, and that's exactly the type of offense that he is built for. He's really going to give Gary Brightwell a run for his money as far as that short yardage back to bring in every once in a while to get those tough yardage. Eric Gray does not have the power that Gary Brightwell has or the speed, but what he does in between 5 to 10 yards is great. Well, I would say in between 1 to 10 yards is great, probably better than Brightwell. Brightwell has a little bit of that breakaway ability, but he's our third running back. Do we really need that guy to have breakaway ability? I mean, let's be real. So I have to give this grade. I'm going to give it an A-, just because the running back position, I mean, it's the running back position, okay? And, we already have Saquon Barkley, Matt Breida, Gary Brightwell, but A-, just great value. I love this guy. Okay, our 6th round pick out of Old Dominion, Tre Hawkins, the third, I believe. There is no film on this guy at all. Like, not even highlights, not even, like, it's like straight up like a UDFA sort of thing. And I don't know what to make of it, but I will give you guys his RAS score. And I don't look at RAS score for basically anybody, but if I don't have any film on the guy, I'm gonna look at it. And what jumps out to me is that he's 6'2", about 190 pounds. I'm seeing a bunch of different weight classes for him. I'm seeing a bunch of different weights for him, but I'm gonna say around 190 pounds, 6'2", and he runs like a 4.3 940, something like that, very fast. And he put up 17 bench reps on the bench. That is crazy for a defensive back. And what this jumps out to me is straight up special teams gunner. Now, we don't know if he's going to be utilized at all on the defense, if there's a plan for him as a depth defensive back. But one thing that he is going to be doing immediately as he gets to the Giants is be a gunner. That's what jumps out to me. He's tall. He's got a good amount of weight on him for a cornerback. He's got decently long arms. They're okay. They're 32-inch arms. And he put up 17 bench reps. That screams to me special teams gunner, and that screams that he's going to be a good one. So we drafted him in the 6th round. That's all I really see him being right now, and I still give it, I'm going to give it a B+. That's how good that's how much I like that we're paying attention to special teams. Let's talk about Jordan Riley, the defensive tackle this time out of Oregon. Now, he played for 3 other schools dating back to 2017. In fact, there is even highlights that the Giants posted of him going against Daniel Jones in college, which is hilarious to see. But Jordan Riley just seems to me, there's not too much to talk about. I'm going to give it a solid B because we do need defensive tackle depth, especially at the nose. The nose position is something that the Giants like to run, and it's something that's kind of getting away from in the NFL. Not a lot of people are running 0 techs and 1 techs. Not a lot of people are doing that anymore. You got a lot of more athletic defensive tackles. The Giants are sticking with the nose tackle position. We had DJ Davidson, but remember, he was out for the season, so he's going to be coming back off of injury, and we have to get a guy that is specifically a nose tackle. Of course, we got Nacho in there, but he is not a specific nose tackle. Although he can play it, he is going to be a guy that's going to be rotated at every one of those defensive line positions, whether that be filling in for Ashawn Robinson, Dexter, or Leo, any one of those positions, and fill in there. We need a designated nose guy, and we don't know if DJ Davidson is going to be coming back 100% healthy. So I'm okay with the move. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's a depth move. It's the 7th round. Get over it. All right, and last but not least, I'm so happy that we only have to go through 7 players. I did not want to do like freaking 11, 12 picks like constantly we're doing every year. I did not want to do that because that just makes for a long video, and we're already almost 19 on raw film time here. So next, our last pick, I believe this is 254th overall, Gervarrius. I want to say Gervarrius or Gervarrius. I'm going to say Gervarrius Owens, out of Houston, the safety. And he's a fun player to watch. I hate watching players that just seem sluggish. Like, even if they're smart, efficient players with their body, I just want to see you be a little bit excited to be on the field. Gervarrius definitely is excited to be on the field. He's all over the place. He's a playmaker. He's a 7th round pick, so he's not great by any stretch. But why not pick up a playmaker, a fun, exciting player that you can try to see what you get with in the 7th round? I don't mind it at all. He probably is best fit right now to be a one of those deep safeties. We don't have like any deep safeties on this roster. I know McKinney can play all the safety positions, but we want him right where he's been playing the last 2 years. We don't want to put him back there. We want to put him closer to the line of scrimmage, covering these tight ends and running backs. And we did sign Bobby McCain, who's 5'9". He's probably projected to be right now our deep safety. Not comfortable with that at all. We have Jason Pinnock as well, but let's bring in some more competition. Gervarrius Owens out of Houston, and like I said, he's a playmaker. He makes the most of every opportunity. He gets some interceptions here and there. He makes some tough tackles. He is not afraid to throw his body on the line to make a tackle, unlike a lot of these safeties in this class where they don't do that. A lot of these safeties in this class just don't want to tackle, just are scared of contact, in my opinion. Ronnie Hickman, for one. That's why he wasn't drafted, in my opinion. So that being said, guys, that is, oh, by the way, the Gervarrius Owens, I'm gonna give, I mean, you can't really give grades on these late round picks like that, but I'm gonna give it a B- for Gervarrius Owens. So that being said, guys, that is the 2023 draft class for the New York Giants. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Gave you guys the positives, the negatives, my grades. I want to get you guys' thoughts of all these prospects in the comments, and be sure to be on the lookout for the video I love making. The video a lot of you guys came from and subscribed to me for was the undrafted free agent video. I'm going to go into in-depth on all those guys. There are 2 guys that I really love, I'm really excited about to share with you guys. But that being said, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe for more content just like this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Woo!